Hey everybody, this is GGB, and I have a question for you all. Are you ready for some football? It's gonna be so hype, guys. First NFL game, let's get it. Oh, I'm so excited. It's a good one, too. It's a really great game to start off the season. We get Bills traveling to Los Angeles to play the Super Bowl champion LA Rams. And there's an argument that both these teams, despite how great they were last season, got better, which is crazy to think about, but it's a possibility. The Bills added Von Miller in the offseason, an elite defensive lineman. They drafted Kaiir Elam out of Florida to help the corner situation. And just like that, the Bills look really solid on every single defensive front. And then if you look at the Rams, on the other hand, the Rams added Allen Robinson in free agency. I understand they lose Odell Beckham Jr., but it's a possibility they might add him back still. But Allen Robinson is most definitely an addition. I mean, he's better. He's better than Odell Beckham Jr. He's an improvement. At this point in his career, Allen Robinson, I would put him in the top 15, top 20 wide receivers in the league right now. Allen Robinson is an elite playmaker. And I really hope him and Cooper Kupp do well. Fingers crossed, because they're both on they're both starting on my fantasy football team. So hopefully they friggin' are great. But then you look at both these teams have one significant injury, and I understand that one significant injury isn't great to start the season. But you look at teams like the Washington Redskins, and you look at teams like the New Orleans Saints that right off the bat are already having to deal with a ton of injuries that could affect week one. It's really not that bad to have only one. Bills are obviously in the worst situation because their cornerback, Tre'Davious White, their star corner, is he's on the PUP list. He's earliest he can return is week 5. So you're going to at least have 5 weeks without arguably your best defensive player in Tre'Davious White, one of the top 5 corners in the league, absolute phenomenal corner. And I believe not having him was a large reason why they didn't end up making the AFC Championship game. I feel like if they have him, that's enough to push them over the edge against the Chiefs. So it's really kind of insane, but I think that loss really, really hurt them in the long haul. And I hope the addition so Kaiir Elam is probably going to end up being the number 2 corner for this football team, I would bet. There's technically still competition going on between him and the 6th-round rookie out of Villanova. But I would 100% bet on Kaiir Elam end up being the starter on that side of the ball. Obviously, Taron Johnson becomes the number 1 corner for Buffalo. And he was really good last year. So we're gonna see if maybe the Bills can. I doubt that the Bills corners can really hold up against the Rams receivers. I don't know if I would be betting on the Bills corners if they had Tre'Davious White, but this is gonna be a tough first game to go against Allen Robinson and Cooper Kupp. That's gonna be a rough one. But you look at the Rams side of things. Rams are going to be missing their number 3 wide receiver, Van Jefferson. He's a knee injury. He's at least out for this game. He can return for week 2, though he's not on any kind of IR PUP list. And that's important. Getting him back could be huge, but also it's huge that he's not there for my fantasy football team because Ben Skowronek steps into the number 3 role. And let's be honest here, Ben Skowronek isn't going to be the biggest threat offensively. Van Jefferson might be taking some of those catches away from Allen Robinson and Cooper Kupp. He's not going to be there to do that, so that really helps my fantasy football team. Hopefully, the LA Rams are absolutely killer through the air this year because I'm really banking on it. That's like my football team right there is Cooper Kupp. That's how I spent my first-round pick, so Cooper Kupp better come through for me. I think both these offenses are really great. I feel like the news about Matthew Stafford's arm has been a little bit over-exaggerated, but I still think it's at least a little bit of a problem. It's an issue. I'm going to go with Buffalo to win this game. They're favored by 2.5 points on NBC, even though they're on the road against the Super Bowl champions. It's tough to go against Sean McVay because I'd like to point out Sean McVay has never had a losing record in his entire time as the head coach of the LA Rams, which you kind of think of, like, not at the end of the year. Like, any point in any season has he had a losing record, which means he's never started 0-1. He's won every season opener. But if ever you're going to lose one, it's this one. Because Buffalo looks like a team to beat in the AFC. I feel like it's going to be really tough for any team to really compete with them. So I'm going to go with Buffalo to win this one. But I do think it's a really close ball game.